Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our Metcalfe County Band Concert 2025. We are so excited to have you here today in support of our students. These students here are our 6th grade beginner band. They have been working since September when they first got their instruments. Many of you probably remember the sound wasn't probably the greatest sound in the world. But if you heard their sound just now, I think they have been working super hard, and I'm so excited to showcase their talent today. So today we're actually going to start a little bit different. Most of the time we start with our full band, but we have one student in particular that has worked up the national anthem and wanted to perform it for us today, and that is 6th grader Z Bauer. So if you So please rise for the playing of our national anthem. I think that deserves a second round of applause. So I thought today I would take you through a normal day in our band classroom through the beginner band. So every day we start with what is called foundation, where we work on fundamentals. And you can ask Miss Bethany, who's up here. She goes, Miss Riggins, do we have to play this again? Every single day. And that's my answer, right, Bethany? Every single day. So we're gonna play it for you all. It'll take a few minutes to get through, and then I have planted a few people to know when it ends so that we know when to clap. All right, with further ado, foundations in the 6th grade beginning band. lot of notes to play in about 6 minutes. Alright, our next tune is called Lava Chicken, and ever since the Minecraft movie came out, you've probably heard this in your household, whether they've been singing it, and then definitely whenever I passed it out, you probably heard it at home. So I'm sorry, but I know that they enjoy it, so we're going to play it for you all. And as soon as I passed it out, the classroom broke out into song. So here is Lava Chicken. Oh, Steve's Lava Chicken, that is. Also, Declan on Chapel. This is normally a second year piece, but they kind of played Mechanical Monsters a little too good at the time that we were at. I think we were at March, and I was like, we need another tune. So we tried Awake the Iron, and you will hear a lot of percussion. There's a lot of 16th notes that are used during this time. And then, yeah, I'm just really proud of where they have came. I wish we had more time to practice, but I'm very proud of where we got with this piece, and then I'm very proud where Mechanical Monsters has got to. And then, does anyone play the xylophone on this piece? On this piece? Yeah? Okay, let's get it set up. Can I have a Kaylor or Luke go over there and set it? I just noticed that it was turned to the wall. Alright, with further ado, this is Awake the Iron. they're just ready to play, and that's my favorite part about a band class, just to be able to play. We have some fun times too. We like to make some jokes and all that good stuff. But these guys are really talented. I hope they stick with it. Thank you again for your investment in your student and making sure that they're here today to perform this concert for all of us. It's been a real treat in preparation also today. We are going to close out the 6th grade portion with Mechanical Monsters. It's a treat that has been played by many of their upperclassmen, and they are so excited that you all are playing it, just like them. And then you will hear from the next band. They are also playing the second piece to Mechanical Monsters. So it will be really cool to see how the beginner band contrasts with the second year band. And this is the 6th grade band playing Mechanical Monsters. Seventh and 8th grade band, they meet in 2 different class periods. So our 8th graders, they meet in our 1st period class, and then our 7th graders, they meet in our 3rd period class. They both work towards the same music, and today we actually have 4 pieces for you all, and we are going to start with the Wrath of the Mechanical Monsters. a flute soloist. Her name is Emily Smith. And we were having some fun with YouTube the other day, and we were looking up perfect solos that we could play, and we found Perfect by Ed Sheeran. How fitting. And Emily was like, I would love to play that for the concert. So today, Emily will be premiering Perfect by Ed Sheeran. Our next tune will be Party Rock Anthem. So we had a lot of students doing a lot of amazing things. I'm going to borrow this marimba. But we had many students attend honor bands in our middle school program. So at this time, I would like to recognize these students. This is for the Lake Cumberland Music Educators Association. So these guys went to the LCMA Honors Band January 30th through 31. They also had to audition for a spot to be in this band. And the first award goes to Miles Sanderson. Come on up here, Miles. You can bring your flute. It's fine. Congratulations. We also have Haley Silva. We have Peyton Brown. Sandy Williams. Elijah Emmett. Caroline Holcomb. Vincent Palumbo. Gunnar Rouse. Madison Moore. Take your time, girl. Braden Bowe. Samantha Petronic. Aaron Wilcutt. Daniela Silva. Taylor Pruitt. Sam Bell. And I think these are high schools, just to make sure. All right, those are the high schools. All right, let's recognize them for all their hard work and carrying out all this stuff. We will be ending our 7th and 8th grade set with Byzantine dances, and I think this is our favorite of ours. And we have all the way from 6th grade all the way to 9th grade in this ensemble. And we invited Declan Robertson up because we found out how talented he was in the 6th grade band. So thanks for Declan for playing. All these guys are super talented, and we have a blast pretty much every Tuesday, Thursday playing percussion. And they said they love just only getting to play percussion, no wind stuff. So I'll let them finish setting up, and then we will perform Rotate for you. stage before us is our high school band, who is also known as a distinguished band, and they will be playing Arabian dances. This next team I like to call the Big Kid Mechanical Monsters. It is called Foundry. Sorry, I got really into that. That was awesome. Great job, guys. I'm sweating. Okay. Before we play this next piece, I want to just recognize some of our students that have been out and about and enjoying the honor bands in the high school band. First, we have the 3rd District Band Directors Association. These students attended honor band January 27th through 28th. First, we have Daniel Robertson. Next, we have Shayla Garman. And next, we have Miles Sanderson. Then we had students that attended the Lake Cumberland Music Educators Association. This was Ashton Stevens. Kinsley Steins. Atticus Simpson. Shayla Garman. I just want to stay over here. Blake Thurman. Juliana Lucas. Jada Hitchens. And I believe Mary Coomer, she wasn't able to attend, but she was, I think, supposed to be first chair, but she was in homecoming. So, yeah. I think she still gets a certificate. Thank you for representing our school. We have Daniel Robertson once again. Chloe Huff, who is right here behind me. There's Chloe. Ava Ballard. Sorry, Miss Reed. This is for Campbellsville University. Our school did not get to attend due to the flood. However, they still received a chair. There wasn't many schools that were able to go, but Shayla Garman. Also, Ava Ballard's was for Campbellsville as well. Atticus Simpson. Blake Thurman. Ashton Stevens. Chloe Huff. Caleb Houchins. Daniel Robertson. Lucas Whitlow. This is for Western Kentucky University, and this is Caleb Houchins. Daniel Robertson. Blake Thurman. And then Miss Melody, did we have a few more? I don't know where Melody's at. Okay, there were quite a few more. We had Isaac Grindle. He also went to Western Common. Oh, there they are. Here you go, Isaac. Shayla Garman. We had one student go to Eastern Kentucky University Honor Band, and that was Lucas Whitlow. And then we have two students who will be representing Metcalfe County and touring Europe this summer. That is Ava Ballard and Shayla Garman. So as you see, band takes our kids places for sure. I'm so impressed with the talent that we get every single year, and it's all because of their hard work and dedication to their musicianship. This next piece is Psalm 42. I actually will not be conducting this piece. This will be all student-led, and I think about how lucky we are to just make music. And this will feature our senior Blake Thurman. have one last tune for you, and it's to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. It's called Improvrida Roca, and it is a Latin march. And then before we go, I want to just celebrate our seniors real quick and acknowledge them for their 7 years of service to this band program. So Mary, Blake, Isaac, and then Kate. Thank you all so much.